Let's take a closer look at services in Angular. We will start by exploring a common problem and then demonstrate how Angular services provide a clean and effective solution. Imagine we have two components in our application, first store component and second store component. Both of these components are working with the same data, a list of products. Each product has a name and amount, and all of these products are stored in the same shared storage. Now, here is the problem. Right now, each component keeps its own copy of product list. So first store component has its own array of products, and second store component has its own array as well. At first, this may seem fine, but it quickly becomes a problem. Let's say we update the amount of a product in first store. For example, we change the amount of apples here from 10 to 5. In first store, everything looks correct, but in second store, nothing changes. Why? Because store second, it's working with a completely separate copy of the data. So now we have a consistent state in our application, two components showing different values for the same product. And that's a serious issue. Let's see now in code all of this. Here in app.html, we have our two components, first store component and second store component. And in each component, we have next, we have list of products, and we have methods for adding and removing specific product. In template, we are displaying list of products, and we have here buttons for add and for remove product. And same things we have in second store component, as we can see. And now let's go in browser again. So main question now is how can we solve this problem with different amount of products in components? One approach would be this. Here, we can move the product list into a parent component in app component and then pass the data down to both components using input properties, something like this, products, and we will pass products array, and same thing we can do here. In this case, first store component and second store component will share same products array, and this does work, but in real world applications this approach doesn't scale very much. As your application grows, you may have many components that need access to the same data. Passing data through multiple levels of components, also known as prop drilling, becomes messy, hard to maintain, and error prone. Much better solution here is to use a service. A service is just a regular class whose job is to manage data or logic that we want to share between multiple components. In our case, the service will manage the list of products. Now that we understand what we need a service, let's see how to actually create one and use it in our application. Go here in app folder and create new folder services. Okay. And inside create one file and name it products.service.ts. A service file is just a TypeScript class. Export class product service. And at the top, you will see something like this. Injectable. And inside we have parameter provided in root. And what is this? This is a special decorator for service. The important part here is provided in root. This means Angular will create a single instance of this service and share it across the entire application. So no matter how many components use this service, they will all use the same instance. And that's exactly what we want. Okay, let's move our logic from component to service. Copy this and paste it here. And we will modify something here. We need also product interface from component. Let's copy this, paste it here. And we have here one typo. It is products. Okay, save. Let's make this logic for adding and removing products nice here in service. To be more efficient to work with this array of products, we will introduce ID for each product. Here, ID is also string. Okay, save. And we will add ID for each product. It is string. Same here. 2. And same here. 3. Okay. To identify which product we need to add or remove, we will use ID to find that product. And here we will have ID. Also here. We will find that element in list first. Const product this dot products find by ID equal to ID, and if we find that product, we will update amount for 1. We will increase this value for 1, and same logic here, only decrease, and that's it. Okay, everything is prepared in service for using. Let's now talk how we can use this service inside component. But before, let's delete this from app.html. We will not use this approach. Okay, save and go in first store component here. If you're using service for the first time in Angular, you may think that we can use service on this way. In constructor, we can use something like this service, new product service. But this is a problem. Every time we do this, we create a new instance of the service. That means each component would get its own copy of the data, and we're back to the same problem we had before. Instead, using this, in Angular, there is something that we call dependency injection. Dependency injection just means this. Instead of creating a new service manually inside a component, we ask Angular to give us that service. We need just to write this in constructor, private products service, and products service type, and that's it. Angular will create the service for us, and it will inject this service into our component. And why this is important? Because now we don't create this service ourselves. We always get the same instance in every component. All components share the same data. So when one component updates the data, all other components see the change. Now, when we have service, let's use it here. In component, we will modify these methods to use service. Instead product, we will have here ID, string, and here we will use service, this dot product service add, and we will pass ID, and same we will do here, but only remove ID, string, and that's it. And let's use our service also in template. So this needs to be public to be visible in template. And here we will add service. Inside service we have products, and here instead product we will pass ID for product, and that is basically that. Save. And we need also to make all this logic in second store component, so we will copy code from here. Because we are using service now, we don't need this data anymore here. Just copy this, go in second store component, and paste this code. We need to import this. Okay, and also in template, here, ID, save, and that's it. Finally, we can test this. Open browser, refresh, and if we change something in our first store, everything will be reflected in second store. You can see. So perfect, our service working properly. That is everything for this video. Please subscribe on my channel, like. Thanks again for watching and see you in the next video.